Welcome to episode 2 of our Dicey Solutions Into the Wastes of Cyre 5 or 6 adventure part mini-series that we're doing here. I'll be your Dungeon Master. My name's Wraith, and we have, amazingly, some announcements. Almost as though we're like getting proper or something, so fingers crossed. But DM Jengi, you got some announcements.
That's right. I am so happy to announce that we have a sponsor for this week's episode. It's Warrior Prints 3D, one of the best printing services you can find, especially in the UK where they do free shipping. But they have an amazing deal set up for everybody who watches this episode to make sure that they go and support Warrior Prints 3D. If you check them out on Etsy, you can get a discount by using Dicey Solutions 10 on Etsy for a 10% discount. And that is just a huge, huge thing for us to be able to give out to everybody who's checking out this episode. So thank you, Warrior Prints 3D. We have amazing pricing on their prints. They're beating out all the competition. They got free shipping in the UK, and we're so happy to have them sponsor this episode.
Thanks, man. Yeah, they're really good. Go check them out. Like, they are super well priced. And yeah, they are supplying us with lots of custom orders, so big shout out to them. Okay. So with that, let's get back into the action. We left off after our 3 adventurers here, Ellerid, Vergish and Alistair, stepping through a portal at the request of a strange benefactor to emerge in what seemed like a dark workshop with 3 robotic gladiators stepping from the darkness, flamethrowers lighting up the area in a dark ambience. Well, after a small conflict and skirmish ensued, we will get back into the action. Here we go. Lying on the floor is Kenkovek, the hobgoblin that rushed to the side of Ellerid after she was pushed to the ground by this giant metal construct bashing her with a shield. We have Sir Alistair facing off with one in the corner, another one held by Vagesh's magics and enchantment. Pax in the corner, kind of hiding under the steps almost. Vagesh had just summoned some sort of magic so that... One sec. Okay. We left it at the top of the round. Ellerid. You have the initiative. What would you like to do?
Okay, so I was standing up and you would see me cricking my neck and a look of "this is not okay with me" coming over my face, and suddenly starlight would just erupt from all over myself. Bonus action, starry form.
Okay.
Archer. I will take a hit on the large creature, which is currently threatening our friend on the floor.
Yes. Okay.
The one over Kenkovek. And now, I mean business. Come on. Ha! 27. Ellerid is pissed!
Do you want to describe... what form your archer takes?
Yeah, so I'm just warming up. So, the damage isn't huge on it, but it's literally like I'm stood normally, but the stars around me take the form of an archer. So, from head to foot, you just see like stars coming out, and then a radiant arrow shoot forth. And I will do 5 radiant damage.
Okay. Slams into the chest of the metal construct with sparks and light kind of bursting from it, and bits of gears and cogs and nuts and bolts fly off and hit the ground and the wall next to it. That's your bonus action.
Yeah,
what else would you like to do?
I look at Kenkovek and say, "Kenkovek, I'm sorry!" I cast Sanctuary on him.
Okay. So,
any creature who tries to attack him must now make a Wisdom save.
So with that, do you want to describe what the Sanctuary looks like? How the spell takes effect?
Yeah, so, like a lot of my spells, it'll be an extremely white light. The radiant light mixed with the dim moonlight which surrounds my spellcasting. And it'll be protection. Yeah. And I've just realised it's a bonus action.
Oh.
So I can't do it.
So you can't. It's okay.
I don't think I can do my other one as a bonus action. I did not realise that was a bonus action.
To be honest, I didn't either. So,
I mean, it's great for the future that I can cast it as a bonus action. Okay, so I need to help him in some other way.
he's going to go next. He's after you in the initiative
Okay,
order.
in that case, then my spiritual weapon is a bonus action tool. Guiding bolt. Let's go for the classics. I'm gonna
Okay.
guiding bolt the guy over him so that I can try and give Kenkavek advantage on his next attack.
Good shout. What level are you casting it at?
Level 3.
Level 3 guiding bolt.
Come on. I need this. 23.
With that, you summon forth, almost from the constellation that's kind of flickering around you in the form of the archer, your own magic summoned forth into this ball of kind of starlight. As you grasp it in your hands, you aim it, streaks off, and as it shoots towards this gladiator, it leaves this trail of sparkles and lights and stars behind it as it flies into it, hits it full force. Roll for some damage.
20.
20 damage.
Elf right now. She angry as fuck.
So, and as it hits, it seems to light up the construct from the inside, kind of showing all of its parts and gears, and it highlights which bits are weak and have already taken damage. And it's almost like your eyes see the inside of it, giving you just added knowledge of its inner workings and machinations. You also know, whether or not you want it, you have your movement, and the Hobgoblin Captain, Kenkavek, gains a very large bonus to damage if someone is within 5 foot of him.
And I have a new special feature. But do I want to put myself in that much danger with that? Do I? No, I'm just gonna get hit and then cause people to have to save me again. So I'm gonna stay where I am.
Okay. So that's your turn.
Move to within 15 feet of Alistair.
You want to move a little bit closer so that you're within 15 feet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just so I'm available if necessary at the start of my next turn.
Okay. So you move just a little bit closer. That's more about 10 feet. Where you were was about 15 feet, to be honest.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. And that's your go done.
Big hits.
Kenkavek now activates. It's going to stand up. I will say, Alistair, would you like to roll for Kenkavek, please?
Yeah, sure. Is he going to make an attack?
He's going to make 2 greatsword attacks.
Yeah.
I'm just going to roll straight d20 and then you can apply the...
Sure.
Alright. First attack roll. I rolled a 9 on the d20.
He gets +4. Unfortunately, 13 isn't enough to hit. Oh, you have advantage on this though, so roll with advantage because of Elarid's guiding bolt.
Which is good because he got a 15, so +4 is a 19.
19 hits.
Yes.
Can you roll 2d6 plus 2 for me, please?
2d6 plus 2. I rolled double ones. So
Snake eyes.
4
Okay.
points of damage.
Okay.
A bit confused from just having to stand up and get his fitting.
Yeah.
Very, very much so. Okay. So, Okay, make another attack.
With advantage.
No, it was just one
the one.
attack. Yep. So
14 plus 4 is 18 to hit.
18 hits.
Is that another 2d6?
Roll another 2d6 plus 2. Yeah, please.
That's slightly better. That's 8 points total damage.
Okay. Now this thing is looking pretty beat, and you could tell as well from Ellerid's guiding bolt that a lot of its pieces are kind of just holding on together with just some wires and gears still kind of pushing air and steam and like force behind it. With that second hit, Kenkovic gets up, gets his feet like footing a little bit more, and takes a solid slash at the golem, the gladiator, and chops part of its kind of like leg workings, and it stumbles to the side, still looking very intent on doing what it can to stop you guys from being in this room for whatever reason. Okay, Sir Alistair, you're up next. Vagesh, you're on deck, so you're after Sir Alistair.
After seeing like obviously the guiding bolt coming from behind me but shooting past me and hitting the constructs that I'm not fighting at the moment, but kind of seeing that has kind of inspired me a little bit more. So I'm going to move 5 feet within melee range of the one in front of me and do an attack action against that one to start off my turn.
Okay. So you just need to move a tiny little bit forward. Yep,
Yeah.
you're there.
So just 5 feet forward, and then I'm gonna go for an attack with my Sunblade, which my first strike would be a 27 to hit.
Okay, yeah. Do you want to describe how your blade goes in?
Yeah, it kind of like as I'm start getting like more into it, you can see the more rage I get, the brighter the sun blade seems to get. So it seems to almost be like connection between me and the weapon. So the more I like furious I get, the brighter it shines, and I just kind of come straight down at it, kind of trying to cut it down through the face and the chest, with 14 radiant damage.
And so with that, your sunblade cuts all the way through it, and it just falls apart in 2 pieces, like either side goes, and it is not moving anymore.
Still enraged and like feeling like the war lust starting to take over, he turns to the other one and finishes his movement and attacks, goes straight towards the next one. So slashes that one, sees it go down, move, and then I'm going to do my action surge and make an attack against that one, another attack action.
Okay.
First attack is a 25 to hit.
25 hits. Do you want to describe you running up and hitting it?
Yeah, as I kind of slash down, I kind of like quickly flick my eyes over, start charging towards it, and as I charge towards it, I make almost like a lunging with my blades, kind of go straight into the heart of it, and I do a 15 points of radiant damage.
Oh. Okay. Like it kind of like goes right the way through, and it kind of like almost stops. You think that it's kind of like completely down, but it's still kind of like gears kind of like moving, slowly coming towards you, like it. Yeah.
I get a second attack because I get 2 attacks on my attack action, so I'm going to make my second one within this action, and I roll a nat 20.
Okay.
So I get a crit, 29 total to hit, and that means that I do another 15 points of radiant damage.
Okay. Do you want to describe its demise?
Complete like as I've like kind of driven in the sword, and I can kind of almost looking like there's no pain on its face because of the machine, but I can see that it's struggling. I'm not really making another strike. I'm literally just pulling the sword out with enough force to kind of like do damage on the way out, and it kind of just lose all its power at that point.
So it does.
Yeah, fighters.
Okay, and that is... I think that's your go?
Yeah, that is all I can do. I've done my action surge and moved as well, so that's that.
Okay. So, from where you are, Vagesh. It's your go. What are you up to? You're still kind of grasping this hold on this other construct that's in the corner as it's trying to fight against you.
Yeah. So I should have said I had cast hold monster through my
Staff, wasn't it?
my staff of power, and so I'm holding the staff out, and I'm just like squeezing the staff as I hold my grip on the monster or on the construct, and I'm not really struggling, but you can see that my hand is shaking from the efforts of concentrating on this spell. And at the same time, I turn, and out of the corner of my eye, while I'm trying to focus on this concentration, I see that my companions are dispatching their foes. I turn, and I see Sir Alistair, his sword, and really, it looks like even himself is burning with the rage of a furious sun. And I see Elrid is channeling the power of the dark twilight, star power, and I'm just gonna hold on to this creature and be like, you know what? They got this thoroughly in hand. I'm just gonna do my best to not get in the way of these really upset, pissed off looking people, and I'm just gonna continue to hold the construct. I'm gonna yell out to them, "I have this creature in my grasp. Quickly now, make your attacks!" And I'm just gonna continue to hold on to it. Actually, you know what? Might as well, since it's over there in the corner by himself, I'm gonna cast Fireball, since I don't have the risk of blowing anybody up. I don't think. I can't tell from that position, but I think there's a wall on that side, right?
Okay, so where he is, let me. He's kind of here.
Okay.
How flammable is the room? He looks like he's standing next to something expensive. What's he standing next to, Rick? Can we get a mirror angle?
Yeah. What you actually see is some sort of control panel.
Yeah.
Kind of
suspicious.
Especially with your passive perception, and you can see it's some sort of control panel.
Will I have if I look over it and I'm concentrating? Will I have noticed that?
Yeah, I would say
okay.
you because that's where your focus is very much drawn to at the moment.
So maybe I'll note it. I'll look at it. I'll see my companions engaged in battle. I'll continue to hold my staff kind of pointed at the construct, and while I'm doing that, I turn and I notice this control panel, and so I'll call out to them to make their attacks on the construct, and I think, man, I really don't want to. Okay, I don't want to destroy anything. If I see that panel there, I probably would want to investigate it, being my curious self. So I think I'm just going to continue to hold.
Have you got any cantrips that maybe you'd like to cast? It's up to you.
I'm just afraid of embarrassing myself by these people over here doing 14 damage, 15 damage. I channel this power of the stars. I'm like pew 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 fireball pew pew. You know what?
Sure,
Fine.
sure. No. I liked it. If that's exactly what you're feeling now, I am not influencing that at all in the slightest.
I definitely am a little intimidated, but you know what? I want to also feel like I did my part. So Ragesh he's in his mind. He's like, what can I do? What can I do? He's like, oh, these new companions of mine, they're so powerful. I don't want to be shown up. Okay, what can I do? And probably I would think fireball immediately just for the effect. Like, I want to show off. Fireball. Like, wait a minute, I might destroy the control panel. I'm searching my mind. And like, you know what? Fine, firebolt. We'll do firebolt. Which is, let me see. Let me roll that. Oh, it's a 15.
15 hits.
Oh! Woo!
Yeah, do you want to describe 11 damage as well?
Whoa.
Not
Nothing
shabby.
embarrassing
Not
about
I'll
that.
take that. So I'll take that 11 damage. So I have my Neil. Grassy. Grassy moves over. Grassy floats over. NG floats over to kind of to the construct, and he kind of examines the construct. He's got his head canted to one side, and he's like examining them. He's like kind of looking around him, and he's kind of floating around him in a circle, up and down and all over, kind of looking at all his points. And so finally, the head kind of comes back, and he opens up his mouth, takes in a deep breath, and shoots out the firebolts at kind of a gap in the armor where he sees some of the gears kind of moving and trying to break like the shoulder piece or something like that.
Cool.
And out of the mouth shoots the firebolt and just boom penetrates that gap in the armor, and he can just see like kind of a little maybe more smoke than actual like explosion, but you see a little kind of come out of the armor and
Nice. Okay, so this guy is going to try and... He's up next. It's a Constitution save, is it? Against...
Wisdom for 14.
Wisdom 14. That is a 4 that I rolled, and he gets -3.
So he is not going anywhere.
For a 1, like, it is just stuck. You can see parts of it kind of trying to move, but it's just completely locked up in place, as well with these kind of like sparks from your firebolt that you just managed to kind of like chunk out a kind of like a good amount. It's like steam starting to like hiss and
Yeah, I love that.
and
I
sparks.
can hear the grinding of the gears as he's trying to.
Yep. Okay, top of the round, Ellerid. What would you like to do?
Okay, so I'm thinking that worked pretty well. So I'm going to guiding bolt first level on the one left. There is just one left, right?
Yeah, there's just one left. It's over in the corner. Vagesh is holding it with his staff held out. You just saw his animated sculpture bust kind of like fly over to it, inspect it, and then just fire came out of its mouth to like almost like weld part of it off.
Love that.
I got a 15.
15 hits. Your
Yeah.
guiding bolt shoots out this kind of like starry kind of like constellation, like flying, heading towards it, and as it hits again, it lights it all up, like kind of showing and highlighting all the parts in which it is kind of brittle or like vulnerable. You have a bonus action. You have your starry form up, and you also have your spiritual weapon up. But
So let's have a look. What's going to be? I think they're about the same. Attacks. Alright, so I'm going to do another archer bolt from myself.
okay. You see Ellerid's the stars that's floating around her in a constellation form up into this archer. Boom! You've got advantage on this because of your guiding bolt.
Well, that's good. Because I only got 11. I've locked up. There we go. I'm back. Oh! Natural 20.
Oh!
Yeah.
For a total of what?
30.
30 to hit.
yeah.
Damn!
Okay.
This is what I do. Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm trying to press damage. Come on. There we go. Got it.
Critical.
Yeah. So it's coming up as you can see my screen.
No, I just saw you roll what the final number came up as.
Okay. So yeah, it's added it 11.
Okay.
Cool.
11 damage. So almost in a fluid motion, Ellerid sends out this kind of like constellation star, shoots out, highlights up the construct, and then almost without thinking, like the stars around her take shape in the form of like a spectral archer with these constellations and shoots out. It is being held in place, but it is looking hurt. With that, Kenkovek. Kenkovek is going to move up to it, and he is going to hold his attack action for if Sir Alistair comes up to within reach. He's kind of it looks back to Sir Alistair after seeing what he did to the other two. He's taking your lead, and he's like kind of like ushering for you to both get into position to basically crush this. So he's going to hold his attack action so that he can get his benefit from his damage bonus. Sir Alistair, you're up next. What would you like to do?
As he looks back at me, I kind of like have a little cheeky smile, and I go running in afterwards. I'm going to start with my attack action.
Well, with like he held his action so that when you were in range, so he makes his attack action first. Can you roll an attack action for him? Roll a d20.
I can roll a d20 for him. Yep. So that's an 8 plus 4 is 12.
12 just misses, I'm afraid. Okay, so even held in place, his kind of heavy cudgel bounces off.
Does he not get advantage because of the starry?
No. Yeah, Ellerid used it. She kind of, it was all in one fluid motion of her own abilities. But Kenkovek's sword kind of like bounces off what seems like really thick metal plating. It's your go. What would you like to do?
I'm going to just make another attack action with my Sunblade. So 2 strikes with my Sunblade again.
Got it. Yep.
That would be a 17 to hit.
17 is good.
And that will be 13 points of radiant damage.
Okay, and your second attack?
The second one is a 21 to hit.
That hits.
Another points of 14 radiant damage.
Okay, describe its demise and describe how you're coming in with those attacks.
As I see Kenkovic kind of run in and engage with it and kind of like take a good old swing at it, and it kind of like blocks his attack. As he blocks the attack, I kind of see an opening, and I come in with my Sunblade and kind of just drive my sword kind of like under its arm, where there's like a little weak point where the joint is, and kind of thrust it through, take it back out, and then with a backhand swing slice down on it to finish it off.
And it just, the gears kind of start, the ones that you've kind of like detached as you sliced through it, some of them start whirling and bits fly into the kind of like hit the wall behind you and go across like some of the room, like, pew, 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 and it slumps down. And Vagesh, you feel the magic that you held kind of just kind of dissipate, seemingly, as there's no agent.
Like there's this tug on the staff that it's like it's a tug of war, and I just feel the other end go slack, and I don't feel the pull anymore.
Okay. So guys, the lights kind of dim slightly now that there's only kind of the fire and the engines that seem to be burning in these clay golems have kind of reduced to a very low flame now, just kind of like almost like they're piles of metal on fire on the floor, and it lights the room in this, kind of shifting shadows. You notice that there's 2 doors in front of you. The workshop itself, there's this control panel, and when you look up, for the first time really having a chance, this is a really tall shaft that goes up, maybe 120 feet up into the darkness. I would say, Ellerid, you're kind of in dim light. Your eyes, they kind of flicker in and out, but you can see into the darkness.
Yes, I can.
And you can see all the way to the top of this shaft, all kind of illuminated. And from where the control panel is, there's kind of like gears and cogs, like a ratchet system, like tubing, but with just with ratchets, and it shoots all the way from the kind of behind the panel all the way up to the top, and you can see that the actual floor around that control panel is actually a lift that takes you up to a platform that is, you can't see what's on the platform up there, but
Good thing I didn't blow that up.
nothing else though. It's just kind of stone, like a stone cube going up into the darkness where this lift goes.
Is that the only exit, or is there...
Well, there are 2 doors, yeah. The 2
Right.
doors being here and here.
Vigesh, I think that a mage of your type may be slightly better at looking around a room like this with your keen eyes than I am. I would very much like to know what's in these crates, especially the trunk, etc., before we leave. I'll describe to you both what I just saw, and I'll say, before we make our decision whether to leave or not, may I guide you and aid you in searching this room?
But of course, it would be my pleasure to assist you in your search. After all, we have come here to find answers, and answers we shall get.
Wonderful. And I'm just going to place my hand on your shoulder and cast guidance.
Mm-hmm.
And I will help you to your advantage with your investigation check.
So,
Nikesh, while you are looking around, I will let me shine some light on that, and I hold up my sunblade, which actually has like an aura of lights around it, so it's not dim light, it's bright light within 10 feet, and I'm just going to hold it up so we can kind of see wherever he's looking. I'm kind of using it as a torch.
okay, for
Very
Gesh,
nice.
if you are investigating this room, do you want to kind of describe what you might be investigating, just narrow it down a little bit? You also get advantage on your investigation roll, plus the D4 from Ellerid's.
26.
26.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry, 24 if she rolled a 2.
Oh, unless you rolled better and didn't know I was rolling, in which case...
No. Whatever you roll, because I got a 22, and then so plus whatever you rolled.
24 is a good check.
Yeah, I don't think it made that much difference.
24 is a fantastic check. So,
So yeah, I'll. Sorry, go ahead, Elrid.
While I aid your search, I think I may need to find if we can come across anything to help me protect myself. as well as general items. That is what I personally am looking for.
What are you looking for specifically, Alarid?
I'm looking for something. When I was knocked back and I was knocked prone, I was very shaken up. That hasn't happened for an extremely long time with my training and with the missions I've been on. And I'm feeling a little wary at the moment. I'm thinking back to school and all my martial weapons classes and everything, and I used to use a shield, but I haven't used a shield for a long time. I've only just, used my double blades and spells. So I'm thinking if I can find something that I can use as a shield, or perhaps something that someone's left behind,
well,
that's useful.
Well, right in front of you, literally no more than 15 feet, with the golem gladiator from its clutched in its grasp, is a large shield. Like it's very well made.
Can I hold it?
I will let you go up and inspect it as Vagesh is performing his search as well. So let me just go back to Vagesh. So Vagesh, you were investigating. You rolled a 24 in total. So what specifically were you looking at? What specifically are you searching for here?
So I'm gonna, do. Let me get into character. I'll take a look around at these crates, the barrels, all the usual hiding holes. Let's see if we can't scrounge you up something interesting and useful. Oh, hey, take a look at this shield. Please, see if that might be useful to you for the protection you seek. In the meantime, Sir Alistair, lend me the light of your blade. I will send my spectral mind to investigate these machines to see if I can glean any of their secrets. In the meantime, you and I shall do a thorough search of the surroundings we find ourselves in, and see if we can procure for ourselves anything by which will make itself useful in our endeavors.
Okay.
By my guiding light, I shall help you, and I hold up my sunblade, and I can basically make it illuminate like a greater range by basically, if it persists, up to 30 feet, as if it is daylight.
Okay.
So the main thing I want to look for, I want to check, I want to look around if anything looks like it'd be, of particular interest. Maybe like I look in a crate. Okay, there's nothing. I'm just trying to see if there's nothing there. My main concern though, or my main focus though, is I really want to inspect these golems. I really want to, and if that's two different things, then I'll happily do another roll. But,
no. I want
to glean all the information I can about them. Should I make an Arcana check though, or like anything like as far as like the magic behind it goes?
Oh, sir, I may aid you with that as well. Actually, I'm rather good with tools, and robotics. So, if you need any help specifically, let me know.
Indeed, Mr. Selwyn, I will require your assistance in examining these constructs. They seem to be a magic I am unfamiliar with, and I am desperate to know their secrets.
Well, if you can handle the magic, sir, I can handle the metal.
Sounds like a fair compromise. Please, come and inspect these dastardly machines with me.
So what you find is that these constructs, they're well made. They're certainly not like anything that you saw in Gorgonhorn, with some of the kind of crude mechanized robots walking through there. These have been tested and worked through, and they look like guards. They look like they were used commonplace. On them has an insignia of the old Cyrish Republic that was here. And yeah, so it looks like these were old Cyrish military robots, sentries or guards. the magic inside them seems to have faded. There was a single crystal that was lit and has just kind of shrunk to almost nothing but a tiniest glow of just kind of what looks like glass now inside it. And they have
put my hand over it. I want to feel the essence of these magics as I'm kind of examining them. Hold my hand above this area of the crystal.
make an Arcana check.
Oh, so close to it. It was a 19 and it flipped. It went from 19 and went click to a 3. But I have assistance from Elrid.
Yeah.
You do, yeah. No, roll with advantage.
Oh, not my good.
So you can tell that these things are pretty much powered by dragon shards, which are they're mined. They're almost part of the currency of Eberron. They fuel almost all of the large attacks, all of the sky ships. They run off giant dragon shard cores. And this one, through your knowledge, is now pretty much useless. It is to get what little magics and energy it has in it would take weeks and would produce hardly anything.
I would, although it, upon initial inspection may appear useless, I would like to pocket it if I can. If it's possible.
Yeah, you take a couple of minutes. Take a couple of minutes to start prying it out, kind of pulling some wires and bits. In fact, Elrid helps you. You're like, I want this. Elrid kind of brings out some tools, and she's got like pliers and like other bits, things that kind of like make and break and cut. And slowly but surely together you pry out this crystal core from it.
Ah, what an interesting find. This will prove useful to study for weeks to come, I'm sure.
Wonderful. If only I had a diamond that size. You don't have any diamonds on you, do you?
Only those that I require for my spellcasting. And those are not easy to come by.
No, I know. I needed one for £300, but I couldn't find one anywhere in town. Well, perhaps we will come across some kind of treasure chest along our ways.
Indeed, and I will keep my eyes peeled for you.
It is a beautiful magic artifact, the Dragon Shard.
Even in its inert state, it might prove itself an interesting little trinket.
Yes, indeed.
Companions, I don't think we're out of danger quite yet. Maybe we should pick up our things and find a way out of this room. I don't like being trapped in a box.
I concur, my good sir. But I am curious as to what these constructs were doing here, and if they were indeed acting as guards. I'd like to know to what end.
There's only one way we're going to find that out, and that's going to have to go through one of those 2 doors.
And are you well enough to move? I see that you have taken several blows between the 2 of you.
I'm fine. I'm still standing, and I have enough muster to get through whatever guards they might have remaining. But I feel that while we remain here, we're not going to get very far, and the longer we stay here, the more danger we could find ourselves in. So I think we should move before anyone else gets alerted to our location.
As quickly as you wish to move on, may I please assist you back to full health?
Yes, I mean if you use your magic, which I've seen that you are very capable of doing, I right, if you've got good magic to be able to heal.
It's prepared
Yes.
today because last night we had a quiet night. Well, some had a quiet night meditating. How many berries do you need? One will heal you.
As many as you can, willing to give.
You need to give me a specific amount.
I'm fairly hungry. I could take 10. You got 10 berries?
I've got 119 berries.
Amazing.
You're
I don't
only-
want to take all your berries. I'm also, fairly good. So
Well, we're out of
call it
combat,
50.
you see.
Call
If
it-
we get into combat, it's better to begin fully healed for the sake of some berries.
give me a handful. Give me 15, and that should sort me out.
Okay, 15.
Okay.
I take them, throw them down my mouth, and I'm heading towards one of the doors.
Well, actually, for the berries, you like one kind of. It takes quite a while to eat. So you kind of like.
Not out
That-
of combat.
Well, just in flavour. It's you can't just kind of put them all down your mouth
I would've
in a
loved to
second. I
imagine
would have
it's not like-
second.
A cheek full of grapes,
But-
like just
They're like
stuffing him. He
blueberries.
can't even chew. He's got him so stuffed in his
Yeah. Okay. So it's just taking you a little bit
I'm
to just takes you a little bit to eat them.
Take his cheeks
Um,
and just massage them. Rub his throat a little bit.
Slowly, Sir Alistair, slowly!
You can
Soften up!
basically like as soon as you kind of like swallow one, your stomach kind of goes, oof, okay, and the second one you're like, ooh, okay, and the
Alistair,
third
they're
one,
very
oof.
powerful! One can keep you going an entire day without food.
They're just falling
Great.
Okay, so Alistair heal 15 damage.
Awesome.
And kind of
You have a
Kenkavek
stomach ache.
kind of looks over.
Penkovic, can I help you, sir?
I've heard of those berries that heal you. Could I? They seem to have taken a fairly large strike to my chest, and he kind of like pulls back his hand, and he's bleeding quite profusely.
Sir, please. And I take a couple of bunches out and I just say, take what you need.
Just shoves a handful in his mouth. Just eat these.
They're very good.
I won't probably have these again.
As he goes, well, thank you, and then he kind of looks past you over into some of the pile of rubbish, like the rubble at the back, whereas the first, even though checking around Vagesh and Elarid, your attention was very much quickly drawn to the constructs. You didn't give too much of a thorough checking of some of the rubble at the back.
Yeah.
And Kenkovet looks over your shoulder, Elarid, and he's kind of he takes the berries, he thanks you, but then looking over your shoulder, his kind of face drains of colour a little bit and goes, "Excuse me, give me one moment," and kind of like places the berry back into your hand as you're offering, and with his with the gash still bleeding quite profusely, kind of not pushes past you, kind of moves around you, like places his giant red hand on your shoulder a little bit and steps back into the darkness, kind of pulls one of the crates away, packs, kind of as he moves, he kind of hops a little, like it's almost like he kind of, like his little jumps are very kind of like fluid, and he moves kind of like from position to position, and he kind of moves, his own eyes staring at this rubble at the back. And as Kenkovet pulls back one of the crates, there's a leg, red skin, big, of a fallen hobgoblin. He kind of pulls the crate back, moves over, pulls one of the bars off, and he stands over it.
No, sir!
Rolls it onto its back and goes, It wasn't him. Looks back at you. Goes, I am sorry. Please. The berries, Mr. Self.
Is this person alive? Is this creature living still?
That creature is very much dead. And he kind of he moves back to you, with his hand outstretched for the berries.
Slain by those constructs, no doubt.
So sad. How many does he take?
He takes 15 as well.
Does that get him back up full?
It does, yeah.
We need to make sure that we are safe. I feel that is a big sign for us that we are not safe here.
Indeed.
Even though we dispatched with these things, I feel like there's going to be more of these on the way, and I feel like the longer we stay here, the more danger we are in. So we should move, and as quickly as we can. I'd say wrap up your things, do what you need to do, but we should be in haste.
Alistair, I'd like to look at the control panel and this tunnel upwards, because I believe this was what they were protecting. What is your...
We could be, I don't know where the teleportation circle takes us. We could be underground. So that tunnel, that might take us up to the floor, or we could be, that could be a tower, and that could be taking us up to a tower where we can't get down. I don't know. But all I know is that we need to make a decision.
Might I recommend we just take a peek through either of the doors and see which one might present a better opportunity?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the door would probably be a good thing for us to check, as it's right in front of us, so we should be able to see whether this is continues going for a long period of time, or if we go up. Yeah, I vote door.
We will
Let me send Grassy down to investigate. He gives off his own light, you know.
That will be most useful.
So I can send Grassy up to 300 feet away from me. If we want to choose a door, shall we say left or right, door A or B?
I'd say the one that the biggest thing was standing in front of.
I'd
That
say
seems
that's
to be
the one in the far corner.
Yeah, whichever one they seem to be protecting.
Very well. I'll move to the corner and open up that back corner door.
And the rest of you, what are you kind of like doing?
Oh, that's a good question.
I'm following. I'm just going to follow it as like a guard to Vagesh. I'm just like standing over his shoulder, just still got the sword at the ready, just in case anything tries to attack.
Okay.
Vagesh, wait. Should you be the one opening this door? Remember what happened the last time we went through the last door? Please stand
good
back.
points,
Let
Lady Elf.
Alistair take point.
Might I recommend we send Grassy up front, and then I will investigate and report back through his eyes.
Sounds like a plan.
Is there any way that I can have my question answered regarding the shield before we leave the room?
Yeah, the shield. You kind of, with your tools, you pry it off, and it's big for you, but it's just as usable as anything else. Yeah, you managed to get a shield that is
Regular wooden +2.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I will continue, just so you know, for further investigations, continue to look for something equally or better, suiting for my need.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you strip basically from the gladiator had kind of like a wooden shield with metal bits around it, And you're like, this doesn't work for me. And just with your tools, you just quickly take off each one of the bolts and kind of take it off. So you have what is essentially like a blue and kind of white kite shield. Okay, so this door, who's opening it? Who's kind of...
Sir Alistair's going to open it.
I'm going to open it. Just try the lock, just to see if it opens. And if it opens, I'm going to open it enough for not to look through, but just to send Nagesh's companion through.
Okay, the door opens.
Just a crack then.
Just a crack. Vagesh.
Grassie's head's gonna kind of and like suck through the doorway. It's not even open enough for for it to pop in. Just kind of ethereal smoke, through the crack, and then it'll manifest on the other side.
Sure. What you see is kind of a small chamber. A desk on the side with open books and some kind of files strewn across. Pictures have fallen off the wall. There's a mirror at the back and a wall tapestry hanging. And yeah, just this remains of furniture kind of laying disorderly, cluttered on the floor, and kind of suddenly gives you a sense and a reminder of where exactly you are. You're in Cyre. You're inside this Mournlands, this place that used to be full of life, and now it's not. Of a future, like, written out of possibilities for some absolutely unknown and inexplicable mystery. Like, why? How? Why did everyone die? You kind of take that in with this scene of dereliction in front of you, this place that kind of seems abandoned, but then your mind goes through and you're like, no, that's not the right word. It wasn't abandoned.
Is it lost?
This,
Feel lost?
the dereliction here seems fragile. Like a weird term, but as an adjective, but it's almost like brittle. It seems
ancient tomes or something.
So it just kind of, yeah, there was just an odd sensation of your realization that you are in a nation that everyone suddenly just died and disappeared for some reason, and you are one of a handful of people stepping in, and you suddenly, your mind kind of goes out and you're like, where are you? What is around you? You're not sure. It's a mystery. Okay.
So I'm gonna do my best to relay that extreme sense of fragility, almost as if our presence was impacting just the very space around us, kind of in that sense. And so I'm gonna try to my best to relate that to the party. I'm also gonna tell them, that it appears clear. Sir Alistair, you are safe to move through the doorway. Sir Alistair, I'm going to describe the feeling. But besides this most peculiar feeling I am sensing, I do believe that it is safe to pass through the entranceway.
It's good to know that we at least got a clear passage. I mean, it's not good what happened to Cyre. I remember stories when I was young of Cyre and its magistry, and what happened was definitely a tragedy, and of all kinds of horrific things that have happened here. And I can't only imagine the sadness that still looms over this place, but we need to press on and try and find the courage to keep moving. Stay close.
Indeed.
And I step through.
And tread lightly. This land is surely filled with its share of curses and dangers. No amount of death in such a single place can not but taint the very land itself.
The room seems like it's been tossed.
Recently? With my passive investigation?
I would say you would, like, this room was the starting point of what got stripped. There's just books and kind of some scrolls on the floor. Scrolls seem like some of them have been opened, and stuff on the walls has been kind of pulled down. But make an investigation check if you'd like.
Grave robbers.
Vagesh, can you find magic in this room, or do you need me to do that?
I have not prepared myself to detect magics. If you would be so kind, Mr. Self, as to assist me in this effort.
Of course. Let me do it before you perform your...
Oh, sorry. Actually, I did prepare detect magic. It's a ritual spell, but I'm a ritual caster, so I don't have to do the full 10 minutes. I can just cast it as an action. Perfect. If you want me to. So I will.
And it won't cost you a slot.
It will cost me a slot. Do you have it as a free?
No, if you do it as a ritual, it doesn't cost. Like, if you sit down and do it for 10 minutes, it doesn't take you a spell slot. But if you just cast it,
is it? Yeah.
I'm happy to take 10 minutes here, and while you look around, I'll detect.
Yeah, I don't think it costs a slot for you if you're a ritual caster. With that, you can just cast it.
Ritual caster is.
Nice.
You can do it instantly.
Okay. Well, then I will cast detect magic. As soon as the party enters the room, or as soon as I enter the room, I take a look around. I will make what kind of check?
Make an investigation check with advantage because of your detect magic.
Wait, Vagesh, please let me guide you. And I'll put my hand on his shoulder again.
Yep, sure.
I'll channel the Moonweaver.
Taking in a deep breath, my draconic nostrils kind of flare out a little bit, and you can hear almost like a purring in my throat as I breathe in. Take a deep breath.
So
for 25.
Nice.
So at the same time I'm investigating, I'm detecting magic, but through my smell, I'm kind of trying to breathe in the essence of the magic. So that's how my Vagesh detects magic. So it's like a snake kind of with, on the air, but with the small.
So.
That's the 26 then.
Okay. So. And you take a scan over once, like twice, with such keen eyes, like taking in, okay, where would something be? Where's this? Is there any magic in this room at all? And it's almost like the faintest smell kind of comes, and it's right underneath the back bookshelf.
All right, I'll check it out.
Watches you.
I'm sniffing around the room like a.
Yeah. So yeah, it's almost like it's under the bookshelf.
I will move things around and kind of dig through the paperwork. I'm trying to respect the space, because as a scholar, as a student of history, as a studier of ancient and lost things, I want to have a respect for this space. But at the same time, my hunger for new knowledge, new things. I'm almost getting a little anxious.
What you notice is that almost all of these books and all of these kind of scrolls that's on the floor, they're all like they're all account diaries. They're like numbers and figures, and there's names and there's transport costs, and it's more of a kind of bookkeeping and an accountant room rather than kind of a place of learning. And all of these ledgers that's on the wall are about the transport that.
Oh, psh, I'm like tossing stuff. I don't care. The numbers, I don't
Yep.
need numbers.
Wait,
Um,
wait, Vagesh. We are looking for the second transport circle. This is our mission.
Ah, indeed. I get a little carried away.
um,
The second teleportation circle hopefully is near.
So do I find the paper I'm looking for? The
so as you're looking all together, let me deal with Vagesh first, finding what his nose was going for. As you're saying, it's like wait. He seems intent on following this smell, kind of like pulling. His initial is like, I don't care about numbers and stuff, and yeah, he's kind of like toss that. And you pull the bookcase, you kind of like rock it back, and underneath there is a small indent and a single scroll rolled up, and the smell is coming from the very faint inks that's written and scrolled and whatever it is. Exactly. There you go. And as you reach and kind of like pull it out, it is a scroll. So Ellerid, you were like, but these these books they might hold whereabouts the second transport circle is.
So I want to send I want mice to spring forth from my hands.
Library rats!
Yeah. You know.
I was gonna do it too, girl!
You know. I only rolled a 1. Damn. Never mind.
Well, with your rats, like, what were you asking for? You were asking for where this second transport circle is.
I was just giving the roleplay element of it first.
Sure.
So, while he's doing that, that's what happens.
Yeah, the spell does it for you. You don't need to roll for the investigation.
It's 1d4 plus 1 mice.
Rats.
Yeah. So as these kind of these kind of like spectral, like kind of twinkling, like golden, like starlight looking mice kind of like start scurrying all over. They're just looking. They're going to one book, going to another book, and that's what they're doing.
So it says that even if, as long as I have a clear idea of the contents or what the name might be or something, so I'm basically looking for anything regarding transportation circles, which is our mission. And just because I am a magic user, I also always look for the word magic, spell and scroll whenever I do any mices.
Okay, good to know. Vagesh, do you open the scroll to see what it is?
Yeah, I want to take it like a cigar, right? And I want to smell its essence. I want to kind of wave it in front of my nose. I want to touch the parchment and scrolls with my clawed fingers. I'm kind of like, the nails are kind of just gently scratching the parchment. I want to feel its texture.
Okay.
Eventually I'll get to opening it up after I have a moment with it.
So the flavor from both your kind of, and the knowledge you get from your spell that you've cast, there's a very heavy transmutation essence to whatever is on the scroll.
A delectable flavor.
Okay. Ellerid, it doesn't take long for the rats to scurry up the bookcase, run along the top of the books that are on the desk, rifle through all of them, and then it all seems like one kind of like squeaks, and then all of the others stop, and the head kind of like turns and looks at that one, and they all run over and they start sniffing, and they're all surrounding this one book that's on the floor.
I like it.
And they sit down.
Vagesh, I
and look
believe
up.
we have found something useful and magical. Would you like to take a first peek, or are you happy with your scroll?
So she's saying this to me. I'm kind of. Oh yeah, indeed. More magic, you say? Yes. Let's take a look. And I kind of I tuck the scroll. Maybe I'm about to open it, and then I stop.
Vigesh,
Bring it back up.
Vigesh, before you put the scroll away, can I take a look at it? Do you mind while you're investigating the other magical thing that Ellerid has found?
I'll kind of do this look at Sir Alistair. At first, I'm kind of like a teeth baring, like just an initial. I kind of pull back and I kind of. Forgive me, Sir Alistair.
I
can
will
be a
return
little.
it to you. Trust me. I'm a magic user myself. I dabble. I would like to take a look if that's okay. I won't open
by
it.
all means.
Don't worry.
I do not mean to become territorial. It is in my nature. Please, by all means. And I hand him over the scroll. Like that initial, like you can see like I do it, but then I immediately I'm like embarrassed and I compose myself. I'm like, oh my goodness, like I can't believe that just came out. I'm so sorry.
While they're doing that, I'm just gonna lay the scroll down onto the side of the desk, kind of just meditate for about a minute over it, and cast Identify on the scroll.
Very good, sir. I hear the mutterings of this spell and Identify. Very well done, sir.
It takes about a minute, so those guys can do what they're doing, and then you can tell me afterwards what the scroll does.
Yep.
Ellerid looks around the room as she sees Sir Alistair do that, and her eyes go wide, and this huge smile comes across her face, because usually she's the one that has to do all of this stuff, and she just says out loud, I believe a team is forming, my friends.
I think we will work well together. But yes, let's keep finding what we can. I'll see what I can do with this scroll.
So all of the rats that, or the mice that are sitting around this one book,
Mises.
they're all kind of, the mices. All the mices are, they're kind of sat now on their bums with their kind of legs, their front paws kind of like neatly tucked together, and they're all kind of like looking very pleased with themselves and looking up at you.
My mouse comes out and just has a little peek. And I put it down and I'm like, hang out with some friends for a little while.
And yeah, it kind of like, it goes up and it's looking, and then the other mice kind of start going up and playing with it, and it seems to be really happy. Do you look at this book?
Yes. If Vigesh is busy, I will look at the book.
We'll share checking it out.
So you both kind of go over and you open it up, and inside it is a map. It's basically of all the transport links that are linked to this gnome depot, and as you're kind of looking through, Pax kind of comes up behind you, kind of like hops and goes, well, that's the one that we want to go for. That one there. Just... Yeah. And he kind of brings a kind of like a feathered hand and points on the map, kind of quite north from you, and goes, see? That one. That's the one that we're going to get going.
I turn to Vigesh and say, so while your spell's up, do you detect anything else going in this room? And I look at Pax.
So... Interesting, because that's very true. So, Vigesh, around this horned Kenku in a red robe, there's a slight sense of a rippling evocation, an abjuration magic that's kind of surrounding his robe, and maybe something that's tucked underneath it.
Again, on that. So I mean, I'm drawn to this book, but on that whiff of other magics, I hand the book to Elrid, and I kind of start sniffing the air. There seems to be. There is another smell, another source I'm detecting. And I kind of start moving over to the Kenku. Maybe I'm kind of not looking at him, but I'm kind of looking around him. Finally, get close enough, and I stand in front of him, and I say, "And it seems to be emanating from within your robes, my friend. What do you carry with you that is putting off such a smell?"
Kind of cocks his eye, like head to one side, looks up at you and goes, "Get your fucking snout out of my business."
I kind of do a.
I go, "Hey, watch how you speak to him," with my sword out.
Mm.
Not very aggressively, but just as in, that's not how we speak to each other.
You
My
guys.
spectral mind. It's Grassy kind of come. All of a sudden he's been floating around the room. All of a sudden it's, and he's like right next to my shoulder, and he's got his Neil deGrasse. I can't say it. Grassy over here, and he's like.
I don't mean to get off on the wrong foot, but I'm not sharing what I've got under.
It is none of my business.
I'm not sharing what I've got underneath these robes with you. See, that's my business.
Indeed it is. Indeed it is. I apologize for my reactions. You see, I am just drawn to magics, and I sometimes can be a little overzealous in their pursuits. Please keep your secrets to yourself.
Kenkovac is looking like a little bit embarrassed at the back. He's kind of like looking at the floor, not really sure what he's supposed to say, and in this kind of like in this conflict, or this kind of like in this comeuppance, he seems very, very nervous and not sure of like what he's supposed to be doing.
So wait, this isn't.
So this
is not our employer. This is a Tagron, right?
This is the little guy. So you've got Pax. That's the small Kenku looking horned guy. And Kenkovac is the hobgoblin, the big captain that at the moment is looking.
Phoenix.
Our patron.
Yeah, Phoenix was our patron, and that we had to take Pax to the teleportation circle because he's our ticket out of here. He knows how to work them, so he's the magic guy that's going to get us back. That we have to kind of take. So I'm pretty sure he's going to have magical stuff with him.
He's the one we have to protect.
He's the one.
He's here on a personal mission.
Yeah, he's our get out of jail free card that we've got with us that we need to get back. Unless any of us know how to open up a teleportation circle to the right place as well, not just open one. Like some people know how to open one. It's whether you open it to the right place.
We teleport, but we teleport inside out, maybe.
Yeah.
So with that kind of meta knowledge, I'm trying to reimagine the scene in my head. Obviously, so
Kenkovic is just the bodyguards that we've got with us as well, who's just the extra muscle. But his main job is to protect Pax, while we do our job, which is we still need to find a stone inside the floating castle, and then also once we get that, get to the next teleportation circle and get out. Is what we're doing.
But so I definitely get carried.
Asked to come. He wasn't sent to come to protect anyone. He wouldn't be here. If
it weren't for Pax.
Yeah, no, not for Pax. He's here on a personal mission. He's looking.
Oh, he's here to find the other people or the other hobgoblins.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's the previous. Yeah, that's right. It's the previous.
He's not under employed reasons right now. He's personal.
So, but he's kind of like, all right, he's looking for. Okay, no, that's right. And so Elrid asked me if there's any more magic, and I do my sniffering about, and in my getting carried away kind of thing, and I get right up in Pax. Maybe he's off to the side. I don't even realize I'm sniffing until I'm right up next to him. And then we have our exchange, and I kind of, shit, my bad. I'll make my way back over to Elrid, and I'll kind of, with my back to Pax, I'll kind of be like, indeed, the Kenku carries with him some strange magics. And I kind of just whisper to that, to her, and then I'll move over to Sir Alistair and ask if he's made any progress with the scroll.
I.
Yeah. So as the spell, is it ritual?
It just says 1 minute, so it's not a ritual, but I assume
Sure.
it just takes a bit of time. Duration is a minute.
So after you kind of like after you've cast the spell, after that minute kind of goes, you're kind of taking in what's at the back, but you're really kind of focusing on the spell, getting it right, making sure, and then all of the glyphs suddenly, like, the information lines up, and this is a scroll of a spell called Rope Trick.
Rope trick. Okay.
And you basically with the spell Identify, everything about the spell.
Yeah.
And Rope Trick, basically, you can touch a length of rope, and then one length of the rope rises into the air, and then kind of like opens a small little interdimensional pocket, which you can, if you climb up the rope, you go into this space, and it can hold as many as 8 people, and then the rope can be pulled into the space, and then it's like you're just hidden.
The animated spellbook did a great video on it. If you guys, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. If you guys haven't seen the animated spellbook Rope Trick, really well done.
Okay.
That sounds cool. How many charges does it have? How many times can I use the scroll?
Just once.
Just one
once.
charge. One
Yep.
charge. Okay. And the scroll itself, there's no other magical effects on it. So it's just, I say the words, I cast the spell.
Yep.
Sweet. And it doesn't, and I assume it takes an action to read it, but I don't lose a spell slot for using it, do I? It's just, it's like a bonus spell I get to use once.
Yep.
Cool. I go back to Vigesh, and I'm like, I've never seen one of these, but I've heard about them. This is pretty standard magical scroll. You get to use it. It just read the words off. You obviously know spells. Just read the words that are written in front of you. You get one use out of it, and then the words will kind of disappear from the page. It's the spell Rope Trick. Have you come across that before?
I have heard rumors of its use, but I have never had the pleasure of studying its magics myself. I hope to learn the spell one day, though.
Well, yeah, you get to create a bit of an extra dimensional space of which you can climb into. It's great for escaping things. Great for popping out into places.
It lasts for an hour as well.
Maybe even trapping some creatures in it. But yeah, I hand back the scroll, like, take it. This is yours. This is a good spell to have. I think I trust it more in your hands than anybody else's.
And then, so what I'll like to do, I like to look down at the scroll, and immediately, as soon as he starts to hand it to me, I'm kind of like, and I'm like really excited to be getting, my claws on some more magics. But I stop and I say, I best not let myself get carried away. I propose this, and then I flick my hands, and in my hand appears the quill, or the feather that I purchased, the
parrot feather.
Feather. But I've turned it into my wizardly quill. I've taken, I've whatever magic's done to make it my wizarding quill, or to make it, maybe at least make it manifest, my wizarding quill manifest, like maybe everybody thinks it's the parrot feather, but it's really not, whatever. But the parrot feather appears in my hand, and I say, might I propose you keep the scroll, and I will make a copy of it in my spell book at the appropriate time. And I wave the feather kind of around in a flourish over my spell book.
If you have time, to make a copy. I know copying spells takes a considerable amount of time. Keep the scroll, write it down in your spell book, and then once you have finished copying it, however long it takes, you give the scroll back.
An equitable deal if I have ever heard one. Sir Alistair, you are a gentleman and indeed a scholar.
And with that, after you have kind of thoroughly searched the room and you're sure that there's no other magical essence or really no other secret compartments in here, we're going to go and take a little break. So
yes, because I gotta take a piss.
Sure. So with that, I am going to pause the recording. So, you guys are all in this room. You've just handed off the scroll to Vagesh. He's managed to scratch it into his spell book. Boom. It's done with your scholarly ability. It takes almost no time, and you feel very satisfied that another addition has been added to your almanac.
It looks very impressed watching this quill at work.
Okay. Pax kind of moves back. He's got beady eyes. It's kind of looking around, kind of trying to hear. Kankavek, now that that's settled down, has stopped looking at the floor and seems a little bit more confident.
Kankavek, we'll move on and look for whoever it is you're looking for. And team, do we give this book to our friend Pax? Or would you hold
if
on
he
to
is
it?
the teleportation guide or person who knows the best, I'm sure he's going to be the one best with the book. I mean, I'm not going to make heads or tails of it. I don't know if either of you. I assume he's going to be the one who's going to need it the most. What do you think, Pax? Is that something that you would find useful?
Yeah. Let me hold on to it for you.
Give it to him. We can keep an eye on him if he...
Oh, do you know what? I've just realised I've got this really good little pouch that I've been carrying it around with me. I'll hold on to it, Pax, for you, because I see you're only wearing that robe, and I know that, there's not much space in there. Let me know when you need it, and I'll give it to you.
He blinks once and goes, "Fine by me, fine by me."
Lovely.
I want to just make note personally. I want to, for the record, Ragesh noticed how uncomfortable Kankaved became when I was not confronting, but when my snout was all up in Pax's robes. I definitely did notice the uncomfortableness when we had our interaction.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was, seemed like there was something maybe conflict averse about that. Maybe something about authority.
Party, I say we move on. We need to get on. We've got everything we need out of this room. Let's move on to the next. And I'm kind of getting a bit impatient, so I'm just going to push into the next room and not really...
Okay.
I'm just going to open the door.
Well, you open the door.
I'll turn to Vagesh as Alistair opens the door and says, for future reference, if you want me to look for any traps anywhere before we enter places, just
Before
ask.
you bust into the next room.
So, as Alistair opens the door and steps through, you kind of say this. You're like, what? Oh! And you're in a kind of corridor. It's just a corridor, but right at the end of it, a lot of the ceiling and stonework has collapsed. There is a door on the far end, but there is a huge amount of stonework that is down there. The door seems like it's buried behind a lot of rubble.
Does this rubble seem like it's fallen down?
Yes,
So yeah, it's fallen down, obviously, but it's not fallen from the wall or anything. It's come from the ceiling.
from the ceiling, yeah.
And can I have a look? Is it earth above it, or is there a sky above it? What's through the ceiling? Where it's fallen?
So you look up, and no, it's kind of hard. Like so there's nothing up there. It's just more kind of like dirt. Maybe it was stone plate that was put in. So yeah, just kind of more brickwork.
Okay. I think we're underground. I think this portal has taken. Sorry. I think this portal has taken us into like a building or something that's lower than ground level. The way that the stoneworkers seem to have fallen, the way there's not much light down here. These guards were obviously guarding something which looks like it might, if we go further down, we could be heading into a stronghold or a dungeon. It might be worth trying us going up back the
I'm
way.
happy to fly up if you'd like, and see
Well,
what's there.
what was the if you can fly, maybe checking up that tunnel where we saw the system, the pulley system before.
Mhm.
Maybe have a little look up there, see if you can get a vantage point, see if we can see which way we need to head out of this place, because I feel like if we keep going down this road, we could end up in a lot of trouble, and we need to get out of this building and make our way across the land. From the maps we were given.
The Pax kind of goes like gives a side eye to Ellerid, and is like, I mean, you could fly. I could try and get that control panel working. If it's got some power, we should be able to get up there, no problem. If you've got abilities that would tire you out on, we got a lot ahead of us. How about you let me try the lift first? Save your strength.
Sounds like a very good idea. I'd be happy to assist you with that.
Okay. I would like the assistance.
I would be very much interested to see how this machine operates. Please, let me observe.
By all means. He goes over to the control panel, and it looks like it's a mirror. And he kind of waves his hand over it. Nothing happens. Kind of looks at the back and goes,
Anything I can do to help, sir? And I'm going to cast guidance on his shoulder.
He goes, can you, there should be enough power in those fallen constructs to, get a bit of juice into this control panel. Can you run some of the wiring that's behind here, hook it up into there? That should do it.
I'll grab my tools out and follow his instructions.
Yeah, easily done. Takes you no more than 20 seconds. And as you hook it up, this smooth mirror kind of comes alive with lights and patterns, and there is an image from above, like coming out of some kind of scrying device, and he kind of presses a couple of buttons and goes, it's all good to go. I guess hop on, let's get going, shall we?
I'm
Excellent.
definitely going to not be the first one to do that.
I will.
I would say, Vagesh, with your passive insight and perception. Investigation. With your passive investigation, you took down that, I would like you to make an intelligence check for me, please.
Absolutely, sir. Woohoo! 21.
21, and with that, I will mark you. Elarid, can you make an intelligence check as well for me?
Seven.
Okay. Alistair, could you make an intelligence check for me, please?
Yeah, 19.
Okay. So with that, I have marked Alistair and Vagesh as partway of familiarization with Cyrish technology. So, Kankovek steps on the platform. It should hold all of us, Pax says. It's enough for those machines that probably came down from above, maybe.
Great. That let me go first. I'll lead the way, and I just step onto the machine and offer out a hand. Are you joining us? Coming with everyone?
I'll look to Elrid. Ladies first. Please, after you.
Hobgoblins first.
Kankovek.
I laugh.
Actually, I'm first. Have you not seen me? I'm first.
Next. Sorry, I'll rewind. Hobgoblins
Fine.
Yeah, Kankovek steps on.
Kankovek, if you tell us what you're looking for, as we step on, I'll say, maybe we can help you. You don't need to say anything if you don't want to. I'll say it as an aside.
He looks hesitant. I'm looking for my son. And
Oh, so
he came through. We weren't very close, but that's another thing. So,
I'm so sorry.
I think he took this mission. I don't know. I know he's on this mission. I guess I owe it to him to find him, to find out. I don't know.
So I owe it to you for running to my protection.
My family also owes Phoenix a bit of a debt, so yeah, I think that's all I would say on the matter at the moment.
Of course.
Shall we?
After everyone steps on, I will join. I'll kind of sniff the air around, and put a hesitant foot on the platform, and then eventually just step fully on. Check to make sure I got my little lizard. Check to make sure Grassy is with me. Then I give a nod to the party. I use my staff of power and I make a heavy kind of clank on the ground, and I say, "All right, then, let us set off."
Pax touches what looks like a button on the mirror, and it goes boom, and then you raise without a sound, soundlessly. It lifts up all the way to this top position, and you are on a small 10-foot by 5-foot platform with a door in front of you. And it raises you a good 150 foot before coming to a stop.
Is there anything written on the door? Anything like signage-wise? Any of the symbols that we saw on the previous constructs?
Make a perception check.
Perception. Huh. 7.
7's kind of... It's 7, to be honest, it's
Can
okay.
you take this passive?
Yeah.
If you roll lower
Yeah.
than your passive, can we take our passive?
I will say. Oh, it depends. We'll say
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
moment to moment.
Alright.
I'm actively looking, so it would be a roll, wouldn't it?
So what you can see in kind of caked in dust, and it takes you a good couple of seconds. There is a thanks for your trip across the top of this archway of this fairly large door. And you can see off to the side as well, kind of a poster saying use Gnome Depot for all of your transport needs.
Well, it looks like this might be the way out. Shall we go? Let's go. I'm gonna just go and open the door.
And you open the door into you're on top of a quite tall building overlooking the wind kind of languidly comes, and it's the first time you've seen the light for a while, and it's not bright, it's dull, but it still takes you a couple of seconds to adjust your eyes. And what hits you is this kind of silence. Stepping out, you are on a square kind of rooftop, about 40 foot by like 30 feet. There's more up, but like behind you, but it kind of like stops in, and it's got what looks like an antenna on the top. And what you're looking at is quite a few. So it's almost like a small city. Again, with lots of quite tall buildings all around. And there's this kind of fog that hangs on the bottom. Not kind of like greenish, but kind of quite sepia-esque. And as you look over, Ellerid, this probably hits you. There's no lights in any of these buildings. It's like there's a tense melancholy to this whole entire environment. It's empty. There's no sounds. There's not birds. And it looks a little grey. Almost as though the life has been sucked out. The building itself is maybe about 80 foot tall. And it's a bit on a hill, looking to your left, going downhill. There's this kind of main thoroughfare. It's maybe about, in your view, all around you, maybe say 30 of these tall buildings. Gloom and shadows of the buildings. And above there's no actual clear sky, and it's again this kind of odd sepia clouds. No insects. It's like emptiness. You're in like a ghost town.
Sirs, comrades, I don't know if I spoke of this before, but I can see quite far in this gloom, and there is nothing here. I don't even sense the presence of insects.
Do you think that the inhabitants are only these constructs these machines that we encountered before? They wouldn't have a life, would they? So they would be the only ones that probably still be here.
Who knows? I was told that there could be anything here.
Well, from stories I've heard of Cyre, the event that happened must have just wiped out all life here. I know it was pretty disastrous what happened here, and there's not really been any information out of it, but no one has left Cyre, so you only presume that all have been killed or died from this fog or cloud or whatever it is that we are in.
You would expect as well that VIPs that would have used this transport circle service that the Gnome Depot provided would come up here and probably take an airship from this place. And what you've known, Vagesh as well, in Sharn, cities like this are teeming. Well, towns like this are teeming, usually with sky barges or transport ships that ferry people, like sky coaches that would take you from one building to another. And if you've never seen a place this desolate,
How far up are we?
you're about 80 feet up. Ellerid, what you would notice, sorry, go on. There are.
Say,
Go on.
I was gonna say, DM question, with my dim light ability, would I be able to ferry with my strength someone such as a dragonborn and a armored knight individually down, or would they need more help?
It would take probably 5 minutes to get everyone up and down. But what you do notice is that there is off to the side what looks like some steps going down.
Oh, that's helpful.
But you notice that there should have been like a cage around it, kind of protecting on the outside, and that has kind of fallen off. So it's only as you kind of go to the edge to look around, and you're like, oh, there's those steps there, but they look quite dangerous. Exposed to the side of the building. But 80 feet is still... You're not in the sky, it's quite high.
Vagesh, Alistair, even, do either of you have anything to help us if we fall? I do not. Not all of us.
Depends how high we fall from.
80 feet we're up.
Yeah, I don't have anything for that high.
Indeed, I do not have such a spell prepared. However, should the need be required, I can call forth my wings.
1 second.
So we
Can
may be able to ferry everyone down.
Vakesh, can I see that scroll again, please? The scroll that we had a look at.
Absolutely. Please, take it. I have copied all the necessary information.
Thank you. Let me just have a think, ponder over this for a second.
DM question, Order of the Scribes. Is the scroll not destroyed when it's copied into the spellbook?
No.
Wow. Little dance.
I'm a knowledge hound. I'm also... I don't want to meta too much, because I know we're in the middle of something here. Rick, I need your help. Probably after we get done with this session. I'm struggling with my prepared spell list number of spells I can have. Not prepared, known. Amount of spells I can have known. It's really fucking with me.
As a wizard, you don't have a limit.
For my known spells, I don't have a limit?
You don't have a limit. As a wizard, you could conceivably take every single spell that is access to a wizard list and acquire it, put it in your book.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. The upper, there's no cap, but I'm saying at my level, because like D&D Beyond, again, I don't want to sidetrack this too much.
Sure.
I'm sorry.
We can. We'll deal with
It
that.
does say if you go into class and spells and
I mean, it gives
I'm
me all the
always
breakdown
prepared
for
spellcaster.
sure. Like, yeah. I mean, I'm looking at everything, all the breakdown, but at the same time, I'm a little confused because of like how the spell slots versus how many spells I can have for that level of that spell slot. Yada yada yada. I would
Okay.
just like to make sure I'm getting it right.
Sure,
I'm a
we'll go
wizard.
through it afterwards.
I'm a wizard, Harry. I'm a wizard in my other game. So you've got your 3. You've got prepared, known. You've got prepared spellbook, and then the next lot, the ones you haven't learnt yet, as well as ones you have. At
Yeah.
the top of that, just before your spellbook, there'll be a little number, and there'll be a cross, and it will show you how many. Or if it doesn't say, if you go into your wizard class features under spellcasting, it tells you how many per level you should have.
Class
Okay.
features, spell casting. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna read through this and then.
So at first level, for example, you start with 6, and it says you start with 6 at first level.
And then you get 2 per wizard level up to, what did it say? It said you get 2 per wizard level. I'm sorry, guys. I don't want to do this. I should know how to play a wizard, and it's not. It's
okay.
the technicality of the amount of spells. I just put rope trick in there, and I'm like, wait, I have 35 spells in my spellbook. That can't be right. And I'm
Sounds
like, I
about
should only
right.
have like, I thought I should only have
Right
at my
on.
level like 16. Is that 14?
If you
Like
haven't
known
copied
spells.
any
We'll work
cards,
it. We'll go through.
you'll have less,
I'll spend some time with you after the session, and
sorry.
don't be. It's absolutely fine. It's D&D.
I feel like a bad.
It
I feel like a bad D&D player because I'm like, dude, I've been playing
Well,
D&D
that-
how long? I don't know. How many
doesn't
spells.
matter at all.
Are there sorry, did you say there were stats?
They look.
Yeah, there's stairs, but they look crumbled and dangerous. So I said, if they crack, do we have anything to help us fall?
Oh, okay, fine. Let's take the stairs.
Just
I mean-
be light-footed.
Yeah, I mean, like, we can try and be as very careful as possible, but I think we need to just
So as you
go for the chance.
you're gonna
Maybe
use.
Attempt to go down
Sure.
quietly.
Okay, so
I'm not the most stealthy of person, and I kind of
Clunk,
clang
clunk,
my armor.
clunk,
yeah,
clunk.
I am.
true.
I sound like a robot
Maybe
as I
not
walk
plunk
around.
the armor as an example. I've already noticed, but on the way down, perhaps we could try. We could try.
So as you
I can
get
try.
you get to the top of the stairs and you see it's quite tight to the side of the building, and the handrail off to the right hand side where it is open to the sky has kind of like disappeared, and on a couple of steps going down some have fallen out, but all in all you think that it's doable. You want to be quiet. I would like everyone to make a stealth check as you descend.
Yeah. Yep, that's what I thought.
Better than not rolling at all.
Yeah, I
16.
mean-
16. Alistair, what did you get?
Knowing that Alistair is, would I be able to guide Alistair knowing that he's clanky?
Let's
Is
say
that
yes.
kind
Yes,
of
you've got
the,
you've
go
got
down?
enough wisdom to have made that decision prior. Yeah, definitely.
We stuffed
He
some
just
padding in his
So that's
armor.
+3.
I still rolled a natural 1, so that's an automatic fail. So
Um,
Thanks for
Pax.
the guidance.
Only on attacks. Only on attack. Well,
True.
it is a skill check.
A
Pax.
skill check is still a natural. A 1's
Yeah.
a 1. Like it's
Yeah.
it's a.
Pax.
It's a
trying to save you.
I mean, it goes from a 1 to a 4. It's still bad. Yeah. I'm not the
Pax.
most stealthy of person.
Pax also rolls a 1. Kenkovac goes. So I'd like as well everyone to make
Do you
a
not roll
dexterity.
D20 on a stealth. Do you not roll a d20 dice in heavy armor?
Yeah, he does.
What? Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay. So you do have the opportunity to be stealthy. You just
Yeah,
roll.
but I have to roll at disadvantage, so I need to
Yeah.
roll 2 dice, and I take the lowest, and the lowest one I got was a 1. I
But
got
if I have capacities to help you, you are still rolling a d20.
correct.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. It's just honestly, it's probably better. I know guidance is just a cantrip, so you don't have to. It doesn't
No,
cost
if
anything.
I have other abilities that might help
Don't
you.
waste them. Don't waste them. Like
So we're
I'm
not going
not-
to do any of the campaign with stealth at all.
you guys can. I will have to hang back. I mean, you can try, unless you've got anything that's like silence.
Or again, we can stuff your armor with some.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
like because
we
I
have
think
tons
if we're
of
doing,
spells.
I think even the simple thing of like, because look, even the simple thing of like, if we're using guidance, be like, hey, we got to sneak down this. Like, hold on, like let me get out some of this extra cloth or whatever. Let me stuff it in there. Like we as characters or as beings in this world should know, hey, we can make his armor a little more. Maybe it won't be great, right? But then you get that +3 for that guidance. You know what I mean? So that's just, it's not magical per se, but it's like we're helping you. You know, we're putting that padding
I
there.
can
we're
take your
strapping things
disadvantage
down.
away, and then you're
Something.
just the same as I am. You know what I mean? Like, there's
I
no
So-
need to
How
be
how do you
quickly-
take the disadvantage away?
I would
I
say
don't think we can do that.
by if you both kind of like I guess
all
if
the time
someone
I've
else-
played- of all the time I played D&D, it's very hard to take the disadvantage away. I've played D&D and I've never heard of anyone being able to do that. It's just one of those things. You get like a ridiculous armor class, but you just have to not.
I think
be
adding the
stealthy.
guidance to it is.
Yeah,
is
it just gives
It's
me a
good.
little buff. Yeah, and
No,
then
I wasn't talking about guidance. It doesn't matter if you're happy. If that's what we're. That's.
Alistair is not the most subtle of people.
It was
Let's
just
put
an
it that
out
way.
of character question, so that I
Yeah.
wouldn't bother trying to be stealthy again.
Yeah, no, that's fair. It's fair enough. I mean, you guys can. I mean, like, you guys are probably going to be benefit of being stealthy, but just don't. Like, I'm probably going to be the big distraction. That's the tank that's taking all the damage and hits, while you
That's how
guys
it
are
is
stealthy.
sometimes.
For the future, if we do need to be stealthy, I can take your disadvantage away using spell.
How? What spell was that?
Oh, please don't make me look it up.
Look it
Okay.
up. Look it okay.
so there is stuff like pass without a trace and
That's a +10.
Yeah. But also it is a skill check. So if both of you try and do a thing,
I've got
so
enough
if you were both
ability, I've got a
if you were both trying to if you were both trying to do a thing, like if two people were trying to make you stealthy and then you go and say someone was to hang back so that you try to be stealthy, then that counts as negating that disadvantage. So I would like everyone to make a dexterity check as you descend these steps, please.
I'm just straight dex or acrobatics or
Add acrobatics or athletics if you'd like.
I would like, if possible. That would
So if
help.
I add my acrobatics score, I'm only at a 4. I mean, I'm not only at a 4, but I got a 4.
16.
Athletics, I rolled an 18.
Okay, so that's 2 successes to a failure. Let's see about Kenkovac and Pax. Okay, 3 to 2. Okay, so I would say on descending that Pax slips and he lets out this kind of really large, a really loud squawk as he goes, "Ah!" And kind of like bumps into Alistair, and Alistair's kind of, that's what both of your wands on the stealth check was, as the sound, but you manage to kind of like catch him, Alistair, as he bumps into you, and you both kind of cling to the wall as the air's kind of, and the wind's going past, but you make your way down to the bottom without
Cool.
anyone falling. Okay. Guys, you're at the bottom.
That was almost.
So we
harder
need
than
to
an
head.
encounter.
We need to head north, right?
So north is kind of down the hill, down this pathway. It's kind of like a main thoroughfare, but
Let's go.
it's quiet.
Yeah. If it's quiet and there's no,
I should point out,
danger.
I cannot see if there's no light. As a Dragonborn, I don't have dark vision. However, my spectral manifested mind gives off dim light, and he has dark vision for 60 feet. So I'm kind of like, I'm more walking through the eyes of my manifested mind than I am able to see off in the distance myself. So if I stumble into anybody, if I got my hand on your shoulder or back as we go, I
It's
promise
not night.
it's
Is it nighttime?
No, it's I'd say about now, like 3 in the afternoon.
So there's lights.
So it's light,
Okay,
but
okay.
it's quite sepia-esque. Like the sky is kind of covered. There's no.
Would
It's
you
very
say
overcast.
dim
Wait, I thought
light?
I would say it is quite dim light. Yeah. And your actual like this kind of as you get down the fog that's kind of on the floor is more of a haze. It's not it's not a fog now that you get down to the floor. It's and your vision ahead is kind of it's limited to about maybe like 100 feet. And as you kind of like progress down again, just the silence, like the very kind of like steps that you take with some of the kind of stones as they crunch underneath your feet sounds so loud. You're like looking around all of the windows. And from the fog in front of you, what comes is a kind of silent, glowing, bearded face, spectral in form, ethereal, like moving forwards, robed, quite, say, wizard-looking, but with officious chains around him, looking very kind of like wide-eyed, and it kind of like you see around him this like bubble, and this bubble kind of like pushes through the fog and emerges, and this spectral figure seems to be running. It looks back over its shoulder. Ellerid, you can tell this thing is in a sense of horror and kind of terror, and as this bubble kind of like quickly moves past you all, as it kind of this shimmer goes it's like so quickly and then all of a sudden sounds you can hear, and from the fog behind this thing steps this 15-foot tall giant mechanized robot with a huge hammer in its hand. You see above you things kind of like triangular shaped metal objects flying, darting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then from the fog as well this robotic hound jumps from the mist, and from underneath the floor 2 things unbury themselves like mechanical crab-like creatures, in their extended jaws glowing green. What you notice as well is this giant titan of a robot with this big hammer in its hand. Its chest cavity is slightly exposed but has what looks like a jail cell, and inside it spirits are kind of like holding onto the bars, like some are kind of having their hands outstretched and they're like moving and writhing around, maybe 5 or 6 of them crammed into its carapace in its chest. And a warforged steps, big, bulky, red glowing eyes, quite large blades attached to its hand, also emerges. It looks around. One of the hounds, before you get to react, one of the flying things swoops down so incredibly quick. And as it gets to this spectral creature, its beam comes out from it and hits the spectral, like, robed figure, and it paralyzes it. It jumps to the floor, and as the hound kind of moves up. That there, I think, is where we're going to end
Shit.
Awesome.
tonight's episode.
Did we
Sweet.
take a short rest? We didn't. Did we take? Fuck.
Nah.
I haven't got any of my abilities back.
What
Okay.
about that time we were in the back room?
Nah.
No, not enough time.
Okay.
A
And
short
guys,
rest is you have to actually say I'm taking a short rest, because otherwise it's not. Because that would have taken like a couple of minutes to just go through that room, have that
Very
little chat
true.
and stuff.
and with that, I'm gonna end the recording.